Evacuate. Evacuate.
Seatbelts. Leave everything. Bad exit. Go back.
You could have no obstruction, no fire, no water, go to open your exit, and it doesn't work. It's jammed. A lot of the times I think the perception is that we're waitresses in the sky.
First and foremost, we are safety professionals. Anything that can happen on the ground can happen in the air. Come this way, leave everything.
My name's Patrice Hillis.
And my name is Trillany Bundridge. My nickname is Trill. We're here to show you what it takes to be a Delta Airlines flight attendant.
A lot of magic happens down here in the training center.
Over 195,000 applications come into Delta Airlines, and of those, 3,000 for this year alone will get to come through these doors and be a Delta Airlines flight attendant. Initial flight attendant training is 6 weeks of intense training. They start here in week 1 and they learn about the foundations of Delta Airlines. And then we go to week 3, and those are non-phase specific things like security, emergency management, medical situations that could happen on board the aircraft. And then week 6 is all about customer service. And so within those 6 weeks, we have a fully rounded Delta Airlines flight attendant who is ready to go out there on any aircraft. This area is what we call our mock-up areas, and these are aircraft that have been cut out from the desert. They've shipped them here, and our flight attendants go into these mock-ups and they practice different types of scenarios.
A lot of what we do is very customer service driven.
Flight attendants are able to balance that customer service piece as well as being mindful of any type of emergency situation that could happen on board the aircraft. Studio is where we have all of our doors, windows, tail cone exits.
I'll talk through an evacuation here. After we've boarded the aircraft and we're ready to go, Trell is going to arm this door, which means if we open the door armed, we're going to get slide deployment. When we practice our evacuation, we want the door to be armed. All right, Trell, you ready?
No pressure.
No pressure. Here we go.
Freeze. 4. Landing.
Bend over, stay down, stay seated. Stay seated.
She's thinking about her commands, where her exits are. She's thinking about how to operate those exits, where her emergency equipment is. She's also thinking about people that got on board that could help her in an emergency.
You, help at the bottom. You, help at the bottom.
And she's also going to think about the people that got on who might need her assistance. We do want thinking flight attendants. We do operate with a lot of checklists, but in the end, sometimes things come down to a judgment call. We travel to different time zones, different countries, and maybe we can't sleep. And then you're expected to make good judgment calls, and you're expected to remember all your training and respond to emergencies and be Delta gracious and patient and all of that on lack of sleep as well sometimes. We're going to head to our motion-based trainer. It is our one and only trainer that does shake, does move.
Our flight attendants have a week of training for emergencies that could happen on board the aircraft and learning our different types of commands. This is one of them.
Evacuate. Evacuate.
Seatbelts. Leave everything. Bad exit. Go back.
Come this way, leave everything, jump and slide.
If you don't stay calm, then your anxiety will feed off of that person. It's definitely important to make sure you stay calm. Now, welcome to our ditching mock-up. We have a 767 mock-up, and the flight attendants have on their life vest and they jump right in. And they work together as a team to handle ditching, getting into a raft, helping each other stay warm while they're waiting for rescue.
We like to take flight attendants, train them in these particular scenarios with the hope that they can take that knowledge and transfer it out to a real live aircraft. And when those situations happen in real life, their training kicks in. One of our most common emergencies is medical emergencies.
When there's someone who has a heart attack in the aisle, I know where the medical equipment is on board the aircraft, and I'm fully able to handle those types of situations.
Are you okay? Are you okay? I'm Patrice, I'm a flight attendant, I can help. Typically on the aircraft, there would be 3 of us involved in this scenario. There would be an assessor, a collector, and a communicator. I was the assessor. Trell was my collector. She brought me my equipment, and then she stayed with me the whole time. The third person that we would usually have is our communicator. Communicator is going to be talking to the flight deck. They're going to be paging for medical assistance. They're going to be trying to get in touch with StatMD. They're going to be filling out our medical assistance form or helping us to do that in some way. Clear?
Stop now.
Clear?
Do not touch the patient.
anything that can happen on the ground can happen in the air. So we have to be mindful of always being gracious, but in the back of our mind, always thinking of the other things that could possibly happen on board the aircraft, and knowing that we're fully trained to handle any type of situation. Flight attendants have to maintain a 90% average within the 6 assessments that they take.
But once a flight attendant leaves and graduates and is a flight attendant flying out there on the line, their training isn't over. We have something called continuing qualification, and that is where flight attendants that are qualified and out there flying have to re-qualify every 18 months. They come back to training and they do have to be proficient in their door evacuations, in their EMV scenarios, CPR, security. We do hold them to a pretty high standard.
And so being calm, being patient is something that we learn and we also give feedback on, so that when they are on the line as an active flight attendant, they're able to handle any situation.
Y'all like that now, don't you? Y'all feel good about that. All right, good. Close the door.